Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I've got a fun one for you. I'm going to be talking about the biggest and best new cards this year in Commander. Let's jump into it. So, first up, Mistrise Village. Now, this is a card that has really taken over, according to EDH Rec. Out of all the cards this year so far that have been around, this one is making the biggest impact in that it is in the most decks, which probably isn't surprising because, well, it is a land, so it is easy to put in a lot of decks, and also it is insanely powerful, and its price tag isn't, the price of a small kingdom, okay? Like, it is a very expensive card, but it is a card that is $5. Players out there can usually justify $5 for a lot of things, but let's jump into it. Mistrise Village is a land that says it enters tap unless you control a mountain or a forest. So again, Team Redex, rejoice! It taps for a blue, and it says pay a blue tap. The next spell you cast this turn can't be countered. So here's the thing. Even if you aren't playing in a teamer deck that has access to mountains and forests, that's okay. It's a land where you're okay with it entering the battlefield tapped because it has the potential to say, yeah, my next spell is just uncounterable because of this land. Literally, again, any kind of a combo deck that wants to protect their combo, any kind of a deck that wants to ensure that their big play happens, any kind of a deck that just wants to literally counterspell something and be like, yeah, you're not countering my counterspell. We're not getting into that kind of debate right here. You can utilize this for so many different scenarios. It is such a good card, and again, it really doesn't take up a spot in your deck. Is it a slower land, potentially? Sure, but also sometimes isn't even a slow land. It is an insane card. Check it out. Pick it up. And I guess I should have mentioned that all these cards are in the deck list link, the card list link in the description below. The next card that is taking over in Commander, that has already taken over Commander, is Voice of Victory, a 1/3 human bard for 2 mana and white. It's got Mobilize too, so whenever it attacks, you get 2 tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature tokens that get sacrificed at the next end step. But it also happens to say your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. So, yeah, Grand Arbiter this is not, but it is kind of close in just how much it can shut your opponents down on your turn. So, again, this is the type of card where you can have in, well, a combo deck if you really want to say, you know what? I don't want my opponents messing with me during my turn. Yeah, sure, there are some activated abilities that could throw a wrench into what I want to do, but for the most part, if I'm going to be comboing off, it's going to be a counterspell that usually is the bane of my existence. This says, no, that's not happening. Also, it does say, you know what? If I want to be aggressive, if I've got a go-wide strategy, I can really take advantage of this. If I've got a strategy with a bunch of anthems, if I got a strategy with a bunch of ETB effects, a bunch of LTB effects, a bunch of sacrifice triggers, this can fit into a lot of different strategies out there. It is an aggressive card. It is a card that can also protect you. It is such a good card. There's a reason why it's $13. It sees a ton of play, but if you need it and you've got the budget for it, pick it up. Next up, we've got Monument to Endurance, an artifact for 3 that says, whenever you discard a card, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Draw a card, create a treasure token, each opponent loses 3 life. Now, all of those are great options, especially the first 2, I would say. The last one, for like, like once you're trying to get the finishing opponents off, or like if you just have to hit all of them, because you can definitely hit all of them. This is the type of card that gives you so much incremental value throughout the entire game. And also for certain decks out there, literally value every single turn. Absolutely absurd value every single turn. Like in wheel decks as well, this is just, you get all 3 options every single time you do that. Yeah, and this affects opponents' turns as well. It is such a good card to help you with rummaging effects, with looting effects, with wheel effects, with effects that just say, you know what? I can just pitch a card whenever I want to, like a Scourge Familiar type discard outlet, getting to be able to draw cards, make mana with treasures, temporary mana, sure, but that's okay, and also just drain opponents. Yeah, this can be a massive impact card, and again, the fact that it can fit into any deck out there being, generic cost, it is such a good card, and one that many decks out there have been waiting for a long time. Pick it up. Moving on, we've got Nature's Rhythm, a sorcery for X green that says, search life for a creature card with mana value X or less, put on the battlefield, then shuffle. And it's got Harmonized for X, green, 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 which means that you can cast this card from your graveyard for its harmonized cost, but you can tap a creature you control to reduce it by the amount of generic mana equal to its power, then exile this spell. This is the type of card that says, hey, you know what is great? Getting whatever creature I want. Again, anything out of my library right on the battlefield. Just being able to tutor that up like Court of Calling style, but also being able to just utilize this out of the graveyard as well with that harmonize. Being able to go, yeah, basically flashback essentially, but with the addition of just tapping whatever creature maybe I just got, whatever creature I need to tap to reduce this down to basically nothing and just pay green, green, green and go, or to say green, 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 green. There's 4 greens, whatever it is. Anyways, being able to just go, okay, 4 mana, tutor up the biggest creature in my deck, essentially. Yeah, this is an insane card. This is also a potential combo piece as well, because you can go tutor for, the 1 creature, essentially part of the combo, and then you can tutor for the other card in your combo as well. Doesn't have to be combo, can just be in a big stompy deck. Go tutor up whatever you need. Is such a good card. Moving on, let's talk about another land with Muraganda Raceway, a land that says start your engines, which you have to say it that way every single time you're at the table. Just kidding, please don't do that. Anyways, tap spray colorless, and it's got max speed, tap for colorless, colorless. This is a very budget-friendly card. Again, just 69 cents for this gem. This is a card that can fit into any deck out there. It is not slow either. Now, does it help you fix your mana? No, it does not do that. But it is kind of a fixed Temple of the False God in a way, because Temple of the False God, in my opinion, is not a very good Magic card for the vast majority of decks out there. It just is not. It is a risky card. It is one that when it pays off for you, great. But there are also going to be games where it doesn't pay off for you, and it really destroys your entire game because you're sitting at 4 lands with it in play, and you only have 3 mana, and you can't do anything, and you're just like, am I drawing a land? No. Oh. Am I drawing a land? No. Oh, this game's dumb. Yeah, no, this is a card that does not have that downside. It always is going to tap for mana for you, and again, it's not slow, and it eventually, once you get to that max speed, you are able to tap for multiple mana. Again, basically a ramp spell kind of in a way, just sitting on a land that, again, can fit into any deck out there. Again, for colorless decks, it's a slam dunk because, well, you're already just running a bunch of utility colorless lands, and this is already the color that you want, colorless. So essentially, it's a card that is a slam dunk in those decks, but also in other decks that can utilize a utility land like this one. Again, 1, 2, maybe even 3 color decks out there, especially ones with low-to-the-ground creatures, so maybe some evasive creatures. You can get that start your engine. You get that max speed going quite quickly. Pick it up. Next up, Herd Heirloom, an artifact for 2 mana in green. Tap at 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only cast a creature spell, or tap until end of turn, target creature you control with power 4 or greater gains trample. Whenever this creature deals combat to a player, draw a card. This is a card that is a very interesting one where it has a push and pull, and I absolutely love that, but the value players have seen is enough to include it in creature-based strategies. It is one where you can only utilize the mana to cast creature spells. Okay, so it is ramp. It is effective and efficient ramp. Again, 2 mana, taps for 1, fixes mana as well. That is efficient. That is kind of the amount that we want. Again, when we tap for 2, we want to be able to tap for 1. When we actually pay into something for 2 mana, we want half the amount of mana back. Everything can't be Soul Ring, everyone, okay? Anyways, when it comes to that, though, that's great. It is a bit restrictive. That being said, the payoff is big. It helps creatures that are, well, big, get damage through that trample. Not evasion, but a way to just punch through damage, which is great. And when you do punch through that damage, also getting card advantage too. So it can also kind of replace itself in a way, if not even more so. Of course, this works even better with creatures with double strike, being able to hit twice, draw you 2 cards. Also, kind of any other modifiers that you have, like, Teferi's Lage's Insight, which can get you even more cards than that. But yeah, this is the type of card where, in a creature-based strategy, it's going to be a great way to get damage through and draw you a ton of cards. Moving on, Full Throttle. Yeah, this is one that you knew was going to be popular the second that you saw it. Sorcery was 6 mana in red. After this main phase, there are 2 additional combat phases. At the beginning of each combat, the turn, untap all creatures that attack this turn. Now, here's the thing with this one, Wizards. Come here real quick, Wizards. Can't we just, keyword extra combat? Come on. Everyone knows what extra combat is. Can't we just keyword that somehow? Can you put in parentheses, yeah, untap your creatures or whatever. Sure, okay, whatever. Yeah, basically, this is just 2 extra combats is what this really is. This is 2 extra combats. What's better than 1 extra combat? 2. I mean, the vast majority of extra combat spells are about 4 mana. That's kind of the going rate for extra combat. So yeah, spending 2 extra mana to get 1 extra combat, Yeah, that's pretty crazy, pretty insane. This is the type of card that can be game-ending. I mean, very easily game-ending. For, say, a Voltron-style deck that maybe, again, can get their commander to a one-shot KO, which many out there can. This goes, oh, okay, if I can make my commander evasive and make it a one-shot KO, instead of having to have 3 separate turns where I take out each opponent one at a time, I go, okay, full throttle. All right, swing at you, you're gone. Next combat, swing at you, you're gone. Next combat, swing at you, you're gone. Yay! Yeah, being able to just go, all right, I take every single player out, good for me. That is a great way to do it. I mean, even if you aren't taking everyone out, of course, there are so many different strategies that want this kind of card, like an Ishin strategy, where you get all those triggers off of combat and off of swinging. And maybe another kind of strategy where it's like, okay, I have got combat damage on opponents, combat damage on creature strategies with triggers for those. You can get so many different aspects of this card that can really take over a game or just finish out a game. It's an amazing card. Pick it up. Next up, Renewed Solidarity. An enchantment for 3 mana in white. As it enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control the chosen type get +1/+0 at the beginning of your end step for each token you created of the chosen type that entered this turn. You create a token with a copy of it. Basically, this is a card that says, hey, you know what? Are you playing a tribe that makes tokens? Cool. You want this card. You really want this card. It is also a slight anthem, which is lovely. Again, +1/+0 for 3 mana. I mean, that's worse than most anthems out there, obviously, because like Glorious Anthem at a base level is like +1/+1 for 3 mana. That being said, it's not all that bad because that's just in addition to what this does. This just says, hey, you know what? Also, I'm going to double up tokens. And again, it doesn't specify that it's like, all right, it has to be like a token of this power, this size, this amount, whatever it is. No. It can be a token that is a copy of any of those things that you made. So again, let's say that you're playing, I don't know, dragons. Cool, all right, I make a 5/5 flying dragon. Cool, I get an extra copy of that. By the way, it's also a 6/5 because of this enchantment too. Or if I'm playing like a clone type strategy, where I clone creatures, make clone creature tokens of them. Cool. I just cloned something absolutely massive, maybe a primordial, or I get another primordial. Awesome, good for me. You can do some amazing things with this one. Again, it's a card that can fit into a lot of tribal decks out there that make a lot of tokens. Pick it up. Another enchantment that is taking over, not surprisingly, is Windcrag Siege, an enchantment for 3 mana in Boros. As it enters, choose Mardu or Jeskai, both amazing options. Mardu says, if a creature attack can cause a triggered ability permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers additional time. Jeskai says, beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 goblin creature token, it gains lifelink and haste till end of turn. Both, again, incredibly relevant in a lot of different types of strategies out there. I mean, the Mardu one, obviously, very specifically for one, where you're like, okay, hey, do I have attacking triggers? Great. All right, let's double all of those up. So yeah, for those types of strategies out there, you are absolutely in love with this card. But outside of that, just having a low-to-the-ground way to make a bunch of creature tokens throughout the game that can be aggressive, again, and gain you some life, too, with that lifelink as well, that is quite nice. Being able to go low-to-the-ground, flexible either way, depending on the deck that you're building around this one. Yeah, and of course, goblins are also a very popular and very fun tribe to utilize, too. Pick this one up. And finally, Midgar, City of Mako, is definitely taking over a land town with Reactor Aid for its adventure for 3 mana in black. It's a sorcery. It says, you may sacrifice an artifact or creature. If you do, draw 2 cards. This land's going to enter tap that has for a black. Now, this is a very simple card. This is a very simple and very effective card. And again, it is a land that also is basically a spell too. And again, because of that, it is flexible in that it doesn't really take up a spot in your deck for being a spell when you need it to be. And of course, you can play it later as a land from exile, which is great. So you're not even utilizing the card. You're not even losing the card, essentially, when you do that. Being able to go, okay, 3 mana sorcery speed, sacrifice an artifact or creature, draw 2. Typically, that kind of a cost is going to be basically 2 mana, and it's going to be an instant speed spell, basically, right? Is what we usually have for that. I think it's like Deadly Disguise, is that the one? Whatever it is. Anyways, being able to utilize this, essentially Deadly Dispute. Anyways, being able to utilize this as a land, though, and be able to go, okay, I'm not losing out on a card in my deck by utilizing that. I still can utilize the land later. Yeah, it's a bit slower, it enters tap, but it still gives me the flexibility to draw some cards and sacrifice something when I need to. And of course, for decks like an Aristocrat style deck that actually want to sacrifice things and get benefits from doing so, it's even better in those decks. Pick it up right now. And with that, this episode is come to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all their support.